Right. So, hello everyone. Welcome to another BASRPG2 lecture. For today, uh, I'll check if you guys want to talk about yung exercise. Then we'll go to the next topic for OP, which is complex objects. Then we'll discuss about the quiz that you'll have that is due next week. Okay. So first of all, uh, do you all wanna talk about the exercise? Yung OOP exercise? Just checking. Well, gusto niyo ano, skip yan, no? Okay. That's good to hear that you felt it's much easier. Okay. Sige. Let's just discuss it na lang. Fairly mabilis naman to. Kind of. Oh, wala. Ganda pala. Okay, so let's go through this a bit quick. OP Wizard. There are two wizards fighting each other. HP is 250. If it goes below 0, wizard dies. Each wizard is starting MP. Each wizard can attack with a random from 10 to 15. Attacking generates 10 to 20. Spells deal 40 to 60 and cost 50 MP or mana points. And the wizard prioritize using spells over attacks if it has high enough MP. So first, we have to create our wizard class. It has name, HP, MP, min damage, max damage, attack. So let's go do that. So again, to create a new class, just right click the solution, add a class. We'll call this wizard. Here's our wizard. So what do we have? Let's go with the variables first. And we learned about this previously, the last meeting, so let's try to implement it also. It doesn't have to be like that, but yeah. So int HP, int MP, int min damage, int max damage, and we have a function called void attack. Oh, small a. Is it small a? Yeah, small a. Okay. Then this one, I can, since we learned about this, I'll implement it. This could have been also public, especially if we didn't talk about our topic from last time. But if not, I'll just create this now. Our constructor wizard, and if I want, I can also create one. As again, we'll just leave it as wizard since everyone has an HP of 250 and everything is just the same. So let's do that. Okay. So for wizard, this is where I will implement or give the the data. So HP is equal to 250, MP is equal to 0, min damage is equal to 10, I think. Max damage is equal to 15. Yes. Here. And then since I made this private, I want to get some public. I want to get some getters for it. And int get HP and get MP Also the setters, int set HP, int set MP. Do I want set MP? Sure, sure. Oh wait, sorry. Void, void, and then parameter will have set HP. Int HP and int MP. Let's let's make this different. Value na lang. Value. Okay, let's implement. For attack, it says that the attack should target another wizard, deal damage randomly based on minimax damage, and generate MP. The thing is, how do we target another wizard? What we can do is we could actually give attack or the parameter. We can give this function, the attack function, a parameter for wizard. So this way, we know who we are attacking. Another way would probably be like this, like a wizard target. This could be a way, but oh wait, wizard asterisk target. So pwede rin to. There are different ways there. There are different ways for it. So for now, I'll just put it under attack. So let's define these. For attack, the wizard's HP, set HP, we will minus it. Wizard get HP. We will minus it with the min between the min and max damage. So we'll have int damage is equal to min damage plus. So we have to use rand, no? Rand. Do I have to include? Trying to remember. Include IO stream. IO stream. Does that have rand? Rand? Yeah. Rand percent something. So itong rand percent something, kailangan dapat between min damage and max damage. So how do we do it so that it will be either between 10 and 15? What should we have for the modulo? Para between lang siya 10 and 15. Kasi we have, sure, min damage. Here we go, 10. But how do we do it so that this one will be between, when you add it, it will be either 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, or 15. Anyone? Uh, 5 plus. Okay. So how do we get, 11 plus 10, maybe not. 5 plus 1, how do we get the 5? Right? Kasi right now, kung sinabi natin just rand percent 5 plus 1, paano kung na-change natin yung max damage, right? Yun, tama. So we have max damage minus min damage plus 1. Why plus 1? Because if we do max damage minus min damage, 5, rand percent 5 could either be 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. Hindi kasama si 5. Kasi pagdating na sa 5, babalik ulit siya sa 0. So, that means we should add a plus 1. So, max damage, 15, minus min damage, 10. So, this is 5 plus 1. So, that means if you change this to 20 or whatever, it should be right. Okay? So, wizard get HP minus damage. And then, of course, our MP, we add 50. Oh, set MP. Let's make this quick. MP plus 50. Alright, so let's implement this. Get HP is return HP. Get MP is return MP. Set HP here. I want it so that it will clamp to 0, just in case it goes below 0, no? So we have HP minus equals value. If HP is less than 0, I will say HP is equal to 0. This way, I'm clamping it. Another way for this is you have to use the math lib using clamp, but there is a way for not using the math library. Same thing with MP. We don't have a max MP anyway, so just in case minus natin to, right? HP MP minus equals value. If lang, who knows, no? If MP is less than 0, MP is equal to 0. Actually, mas better pa nga na eh. If MP is less than 0, dapat ano? Ay, if MP minus value, no, is equal to less than 0, dapat hindi ito matutuloy kasi it doesn't make sense. But let's just scratch it out first. Okay, so get MP, set get HP. Must the values be set up in the CPP files only? Like you were thinking of putting it here? Pwede naman. Pwede naman to. I don't see any problems for this one. Maybe later on, kapag gagawa ka ng, i-overload mo to, maybe you want int HP val, and then int MP val, and then int min damage, and then int max damage. Of course, you want to set those in here, CPP. Pero kung lalagay mo dito, it's okay for now. Okay, so this is our wizard. Next, spell class. So create a spell class, name, min damage, MP cost, activate. So let's do that again. Right click here on the solution, add. Wait, so far, any questions with the wizard? So far, ito yung ano eh, wizard natin. Wala pa tayong sa spell. Sa spell, we're gonna have to do something pa. No? No questions? Okay, so let's go to creating our spell. So, right click here, add class, spell. Our spell has so we should include IO stream and include string. Kasi we have a name. Wala bang name si wizard? Sorry, my name si wizard. Balik. Lagay tayo ng string dito. String name. String name. And then it just gets string get name and set name std string name back. So let me just implement this. I mean, yeah. So this is for name, and this is for the set name. Name is equal to name val. Okay. So we're back here again. Same thing. We have a string std oh, private std string name and min damage min damage int max damage mp cost int mp cost, and you have a activate void activate. So how do I know dapat public? Uh, Not necessarily lahat magiging public, no? Yung mga functions. There are some na pwede mong gawing private. But in this case, we are planning to call activate outside of spell class. So that means dapat kailangan po public. Okay. So let's also get the getters and setters. And get name. Nope. Get int get mp cost. cd string get name. Of course, don't forget the name. And then we have set void set mp cost and value void set name std string name value. We can also get some getters for this if you want, but what I'm thinking is I don't think I'm gonna really get it. You could if you want to, para yung itong part na to, yung itong part, pwede mo gawin pwede mo gawin function. So pwede. You could do that if you want to. But anyway, let's go to this. Of course, we also need our constructor. So spell. So first spell, what do we have? Spell deals 40 to 60 damage. So min damage is equal to 40. That is not 40. Max damage is equal to 60. MP cost is between 10. Oh, sorry. Cost is 50. Sorry. MP cost. And then let's just give it a name. Name. Fireball. Si wizard rin. Okay. You know what? Let's make it different. Let's put here para iba naman when we try to set it. Same thing here. Let's see the string name val. So that when you try to call it later, may iba naman. So let me just update that here. Same thing with wizard. Hey, hold on. Why spell here? Okay, wait. Nagkalito. There we go. So wizard, it had this, Let's give it a name. Name is equal to name path. Anyway, and because why are you doing? Why are you going here? Return MP. Why is it doing that? Sorry, MP cost. What's the other one? Forget name. Return name. Yeah, very weird. So this one too, void spell, set MP cost. MP cost is equal to value. If MP cost is less than 0, MP cost is equal to 0. We don't want them to have a negative value, no. What are you doing there? Nalilito natin yung ano, yung spell. We say name, equal to name path. Okay. Okay. That was weird. So, when you activate, must be able to target another wizard, deal damage randomly based on min-max. So, very familiar, no? Pero, dito yung part. Can only be used if the caster has enough MP, consumes the caster's MP based on MP cost. There are multiple ways in doing this. I will show both and why one, I would choose one or the other. One way is, of course, if you want to target, required na nandito si wizard. So what did I do here? I forward declared. Why did I forward declared? I don't want to include the wizard .h here. I do not want. We're gonna have a circular dependency somewhere. So I'm just saying that there is a wizard class. Okay. Where I'm gonna do that, where I'm gonna include it is in the CPP. So why did I do this? You'll notice that the header file, it doesn't have include CPP. In the CPP file, this is where it includes the .h. You spell .h. So that when we try to, let's say it's a wizard, I try to, like, kailangan ko si spell andito. We're only getting the header file, which is only just include IO stream and stream. It's not gonna have, we're not gonna have a circular dependency where it's calling each other, it's depending on each other, circular, and then, nothing happens. So it's safer that way. Okay, so let's go back again with activate. So target set HP. Oh wait, let's get our damage from there. Int damage is equal to, again, main damage plus rand, and then let's put a parenthesis here. Rand modulo And what we talked about a while ago, max damage minus min damage plus 1. And then make sure you parentheses this. There. So there's the set HP, target, get HP, minus damage. Okay? So this is one way. But you notice wala pa tong dalawa to. Can only be used if the caster has enough MP. Consumes the caster's MP based on MP cost. So, one way to go through this is in the wizard itself, where each wizard has a spell. The spell. So that when the wizard attacks, it'll check first if spell get MP cost is less than or equal to MP, which means I have enough MP for it to cast a spell. Else, I will just normal attack. Do you see this? So the spell, I'm checking first if I have enough MP for it. If it is less than or equal to my current MP, I will cast it. Spell, activate, wizard. And also make sure that set MP, MP minus get MP, spell, get MP cost. So this is one way. Gets ba to? Is there any questions about the activate and the wizard attack? Anyone here did this way, where in the wizard you have a spell? Of course, we're gonna have to implement it. Oh, actual spell. No, we're still gonna do that. Pero may gumawa ba ng ganito? Yes, none, no. Well, anyway, I guess none. So if you're gonna do this, kailangan din may set main spell dito, no? Kailangan may spell is equal to new spell. And I'll name this Fireball. So that way, this spell, it has this values, and then, nandito na to. So MP cost will be 50. You can also do this naman if you want to be a little bit different. You can do spell. That this way, if you can implement it in the main program para iba naman yung, let's say, pangalan ng spell, no? If you want to do that. So you have like spell, new spell. So it would be like new spell. Alright. So pwede nyo ganito. Para if you try to create a wizard, of course, we need to include the wizard. Wizard is equal to new wizard. You'll see here, kailangan may name, which is, let's say, wizard1. And then, Let me include also spell here. And then a new spell. And then I can name this anything. Fire. Ice ball. Okay? So those are two ways. I'm sorry. This is the one way. The one way. No. Para lang ano, may customization tong spell natin. That's one way to do it. The other one that I have been questions here or need clarification. So we set our wizard spells inside the main. Yes. Well, you can choose not to. Itong part na to. You can choose to directly do it here. Okay lang rin. Yung dito. Instead of this, wala to. You'll do like new spell, and then whatever. So pwede rin ganito. If you just want more customization, where I want to wizard one to have ice ball, then wizard two would have fireball. Diba? So now we have two kinds of spells. But of course, their data, their values are just the same. 40, 60, empty cost. Also, regarding the item, I didn't really get, could you explain again? Must the values be set up in the CPP files only? So this part, you don't necessarily need to. If you did this, well, maybe not. If this is public, no. Like, you would have, like, wizard set HP dito. Parang ganito. 250. And then wizard set name wizard 1. Pwede rin to. You could still use this. I believe there's nothing wrong with it. It just shortens lang yung requirement mo dito, no? Parang andito na to eh. Nasa ano. It's in the constructor na. Does that answer your question? Same thing with spells. Maybe I didn't add here nga pala, no? You have a void set spell. And then spell. And then you'll have spell is equal to spell. Well, new spell. New spell. So you could do this so that in the main you'll be like wizard set spell and then new spell ice ball. Right? You could do this. I see no problem with. I'm just doing it as a constructor just to shorten things up. Okay. So another way to go about this as well, instead of not just having a class spell here, but we can also have something like wizard owner. Class. Class wizard owner. So that when you activate this, we already minus the MP of our wizard right here. So owner MP minus MP cost. Para dito, we could also have like a owner here. Wizard owner val para dito owner, go to owner val maybe I'm just call spell. Does this work? Nope. Something like this. Okay. This way, in here, I don't have to set MP anymore. And then, in case, no, in the future, baka may dagdag pa. Maybe kailangan ko mag-check ng level. Kailangan ko mag-check ng stats niya. I can have like, if I can cast this, like, a bull. This just extra lang to. Bull is castable. So dito parang to check mo if the owner's MP is greater than or equal to MP cost. Or maybe yung level niya is should be higher or yung stat niya is ano, right? So you can do that. But this is just extra lang. You can add this. Para dito, yung itong part na to, instead of just this, you'll have like is castable. Right? So parang ganyan. That's one way. Okay? So that's just different ways into doing this. But yeah, that was a lot of stuff. Let me just put it back to yung without the owner. I don't like I want to just make it simple lang. We can just do that. Remove is castable. Okay, question so far. So this is the thing about programming, no? There are like so many ways into doing this, and it's a matter of just trying to do whatever is right for you for now. No, later on you will start learning about principles, the solid principles and whatnot, and that's where you start thinking how to properly do this. Thinking ahead on how, like maybe designer wants something else, etc., etc. Okay. Questions about this one? So we have this one na. Okay na to. Activate. Then we can start doing this na. Okay, so no questions. Let's go straight to the game. While wizard. Let's make this 2. While wizard get HP is greater than 0, or wizard 2 get HP is greater than 0. Meaning, as long as one of them is alive, as long as both of them are, sorry, and yeah, as long as both are alive, we will keep looping this. And then if you want, I'll have a boolean here. Turn order. So that if turn order, I can see wizard 1 attack wizard 2. Else Wizard 2, attack, Wizard 1. Of course, there's a better way to code this, but let's try to make it a little bit simple. And then, of course, turn order is equal to null not turn order. So what happens is it'll be true. True is equal. Turn order is equal to not true, so false, and then turn order is equal to not false, true, and then there's a cycle. So just keep attacking. Let's put a system pause here. And then let's go with that first. If wizard 1 get HP is greater than 0, wizard 1 name wins. Else I just get the name of the wizard too. Okay, let me just put some count here. It's already put here, you know, using namespace std. Yeah, I'll keep that. Count. Get name. Oh, name. Uses spell name. And then in here, name, attack, wizard. On wizard name. I'm just got name. Attacked. Damage. And L. And then here's a spell on the activate. Count. Damage. Oops. Damage. Okay. Sige, just to make our life a little bit more easier, void get stats. Print stats. So count name name and L HP MP. HP MP. HP MP. Alright. Oh my god. Ang dami pala nito, no? So wizard 1 print stats. Wizard 2 print stats. Tagal pala nito. Play. Wala pa tayong sa delete. Error. Class. Okay, Wizard 1 attack, Wizard 2, 15 damage. Something's wrong. What? Target HP minus damage. Ano? We're going to Wizard. Uh, Set HP. Wizard get HP minus damage. What kind of 15? Ay, joke lang. Wait lang. 50 ba to? 10 to 20. 10 to 20. Sorry. MP plus 10 plus. I should have ano. I should also have min MP return or something like that. But trying to speed this up. Rand percent 10, 11, 10 to 20. And then get HP minus Actually, like 15. Wait lang ah. One more. 15 damage, right? Oh yeah, yeah. Definitely something's wrong here. Wizard. Set HP. HP. Ay. Sorry. I think that should also be the case here. Nope. Okay. My bad. There we go. 235. What are we looking at? Wizard 1 targets 11. Okay. So, Wizard 1 should now use a spell. Use Ice Ball. 53 damage. Also use Fireball. 54 damage. So, we can just go past that. Manatalo si Wizard 2. Wizard 1 wins. Oof. So, this one, memory management. Ensure that all objects are allocated. Ensure that all objects are deleted properly. So, the destructors, I think I have yet to teach that pala. Call the delete operator at the right moment. Yeah, I think I have yet to teach that. But I'll show you what it looks like. So this is our constructor. The constructor is basically just squiggly. What is it? So this is called when kapag i-delete na to. So let me just put this here. Wizard. I want to delete the spell. Yeah, that's it. And then in here, I want to also just to make sure spell is equal to null pointer. Same thing here. We can just delete everything afterwards. Delete wizard 1 and delete wizard 2. Okay? So, dami pala nito. This one, again, this one's just I'm just flipping it true to false, false to true, and then true to false, etc. And then the actual attack, dito yung check niya if empty cost is is less than yung actual MP, then I can use it. If not, I just know a normal attack. So this one should have been a min MP or something like that, but yeah, we're here already. Okay, questions, clarification in any of this? You can put here as random time. Null. And of course, system TLS. No questions or no clarification? 13 damage, 13 damage, 15, 11, 10. Wizard 1 is able to use Fireball. Wizard 2 is just about to get the MP. Fireball. Oh. Na-minus ba yung off? Yung ano? Skill? 51 damage. Okay, yeah. Minus naman. Okay. Questions? Clarification? Was that a lot to take in? Hopefully not. This one, pwede mo you can do, instead of like turn order, you can just dire-diretso nyo, no? Like Wizard 1 attack. So, let's say wala tayong turn order. Wizard 1 attack, Wizard 2. And of course, you're gonna check first muna if Wizard 2, Wizard 2, Wizard 2, get HP is less than or equal to 0, break. This is for other people though. And then we go to Wizard 2 attacking. Attack Wizard 1. And then also another check. If Wizard 1 get HP is less than or equal to 0, break. And it works the same way. Pares lang yun. Well, I mean, you can put a pause in between para mukhang may pause. Well, it's ugly. Kailangan ni pa ng print, no? So, medyo pangit, but it does also do its job. Eventually, one of them's gonna die, and then I did not pause in the end, so it broke. But anyway, questions, clarification. None. Kuha nyo naman. Why are you breaking? I can understand what I was for. Hold on na. What should I... 16, 57. Ah, there. Wizard 1 wins. Ah, kasi nag-break agad ako. Right. Okay, so if there are no questions, I guess we can go to the following topic. Yeah, these are the minutes. Okay, a lot. That was a lot. Okay, let's just try to make this a little bit simple. Question mark. Kasi baka lutang na kayo from all that. No, 1 hour. 1 hour is a bit too much. But anyway, complex objects. So in order to create complex objects, you need to compose things. Hence composition. When with composition, it's not just it's like combining multiple complex things together, and you get a complex object. So let's say you see Archer. In a simple way, we could just have health, power, attack, speed, name. This can be represented by native data types like int, float, string, and a simple property can be described with a single value. However, with a complex object, instead of just these data types, like health, power, we have weapon, armor, item, skills. So in here, we know that these are classes, they are made of other things. So these are represented as custom data types. Each complex property is a class of its own. It has its own set of properties and behavior. So we do this so that um, we can make our code or our game or have our game have more mechanics. Kasi sure, we can have our archer with just health, power, attack, speed, name. Pero paano pa yung mga ano? Maybe you want some equipments. Maybe you want some skills, right? That's why we need to add some complex objects into it. So with composition, it simply means to an object is composed of other objects. So like our wizard, no? It kind of became a complex object because it's not just made out of yung wizard misto, but also made out of a spell. May kasama siyang spell, right? So in this case, the archer has a weapon and also has items. In OOP, object is classified as a complex data type, such as classes or structs. If you can describe a property with a single value, it will present it as a class. Okay. So you've learned about structs. Structs, however, is just data within. It's a data type that contains of different types of data types. But the problem is it doesn't have any behavior. However, with classes, we can have behaviors. Maybe not just that get weapon, get items. Like in here, we could also have other things with it, no? Like use weapon, use item, mga ganun. Right? Questions? Basically, an object becomes a complex object when it is made out of different kinds of objects and not just native data types like string, int, float. So weapon class. Remember to visualize the properties and behavior of a weapon. You have to think, what does a weapon have? Not all, it should have some damage. Maybe it should have some attack speed, right? Of course, it needs to have a name. Maybe it needs to have a level, like a level requirement, etc., etc. So we have to visualize it depending on what kind of game you want to make. So weapon will simply increase the damage of an archer here. So in OOP, we value the header file more than the implementation file. Code outside of this class will not even bother looking at the CPP file. This means we don't really want to care about the implementation. how it works. If it says get power, kailangan siguro naman power yung bibigay, no? Or kung get name, it should just get the name. And print stats, maybe it would just print the stats and nothing else. Especially when you work with other programmers. Kung ganito yung name nila, okay, siguro naman, ito lang yung gagawin nila, no? Okay. And then integrating the weapon, so the owner, which is the archer, can access its components, which is the weapon. So you see here, like the archer for now has a default weapon, practice bow, with a damage of 5. And you see here, since we added a, let's say, an equipment, now we can change our damage. Instead of just M power, we can have M power plus whatever the power of the weapon is. So that when you deal the damage, kasama yun. So let's add that to our old demo. So we had a weapon class with a private. Okay, let's go add include iOS stream, include string. Oh, that's not string. String. Let's also use using namespace std. Namespace std. Okay, so of course string m name. Right, need m. Right, my bad. I should have added that a while ago. String m power. Oh, nope. Int m power. What else do we have? Public. Of course, it's constructor. I want the give it a name and give it a power. And of course, get name and get power. Why are you going to archer? Why? Weapon. So m name is equal to name and pow, or is equal to pow. You should have a automatic string weapon return m name and of course si power return m power. That means in our archer, if you give them a weapon, weapon, weapon. Oh, sorry. And then in archer, let's implement that. Weapon is equal to new weapon. Practice bow with a damage of 5. Sir, baka class tayo. Here. Is this the one that you're referring to? Bakit naglalagay ng class dito? Pwede din. You can have class weapon. Just to forward declare na may weapon. Pwede na naman. Same thing with Killer Bunny. Class Killer Bunny. So that can work also. They're just the same thing. Uh, both work naman. Medyo nakasanayan ko lang na within the dito yung ano eh. Pero we can say this is also much cleaner, no? Para walang class. Kasi sometimes bawal kasi yung ganito. May dalawang class na Killer Bunny. When you try to run this, hindi siya mag-run because bakit daw may class dito? Eh may ganito na. Right? Or may ibang cases rin na nag-class ka dito, pero dito wala kang class. Mag-error siya. Right now, okay lang, pero ang ko mag-error to because kailangan dapat yung una may class and not the second call. So, it has its pros and cons. It's just really kasanayan lang. So, let's just put here Kiliban. Para uniform naman tayo. Okay. What else? Where were we? Here. I forgot kasi which one we're doing here. So let's just put everything here. So that means when we attack, we now have int damage is equal to m power plus weapon get power. Now with this, we have now added yung damage ng weapon. So now parang may equipment na tayo. Okay, so this is literally just it. Dinagdag natin yung weapon power. Right. M weapon. Yeah. Alam niyo yun. Item class. Yeah, sure, we can do this also. Item class, for now, we just limit to healing. Complex objects usually interact with other objects. So you'll see here, yung item class natin would want to interact with the archer somehow. So that's why we have a use archer. And then a forward declaration here. So it is practical to put the use method inside the item class bucket. Right when we have, let's say we have an okay, let's say we have a gun. No, okay, we have a gun. Which one should have the shoot? Right? Should the gun have the shoot? Should the player have the shoot? Who's actually shooting, etc., etc. Okay. So there are two things here. One is the one pulling the trigger, the action of shooting. The other one is what happens when you shoot. So there are two different things. Right now, in the item class here, we have use. So the item, this is what will happen when you use the item. In the player, we can have we can have some kind of functional use where you will use an item. Right? So those are two different kinds of things. We have to try to separate those two. Kailangan yung isipin what are we trying to do with these function. So maybe not weapon, maybe not item. What's another no? Weapon, item. I don't know what else can we use besides weapons and items. Let's say equipment. Equipment that we can use, no? So almost the same thing. The equipment has the action, has the one where what will happen if the player uses this equipment. Then the player also has another one where they actually use the equipment. So right now, in this item you have used here, pero in the archer, we could have a function that will call an item to use yung item, if that makes sense. We'll get to that there. We'll get there, okay? We'll get there. So first, oh, level OP. Let's go make our item. Item. I want to close everything. Maybe that's the reason why hindi gumagana ng tama. Item will have public item string name. Oops. Include iOS stream. Include string using namespace std. Include. Yep. String name and int heal value. So right now we are just making all our items pang heal. String get name and int get heal value. And in our private string m name and int m heal value. Yes. So m name is equal to name m heal value equal to heal value. And then of course nawawala ito. Return m name return m heal value. Okay, yeah, so it's here. It is the item who knows how it will behave. The archer's own responsibility is to call this method. Yeah. So ito yung use natin, where we literally just add HP. Void use. Okay, let's put here class archer. And we have archer pointer target. So what do we do here? Yeah, target set HP. Don't forget to include archer. Target set HP. Target get HP plus m heal value. Okay, so that's all it does. So how do we integrate this? We can have a vector of items. Of course, you have the add and the use item. So when I'm not gonna type this anymore. Okay. So when you use item, of course, we want to check muna if the index is within the amount of elements in the vector, no? Then finally, m items index use. So this one, that means we're using the item in this index within the vector. And then of course we remove it. So our client code now, just to test it out, we add the items and then use item. Just for testing purposes, We use item 0, meaning we're gonna use yung pinakuna. For now, it is just the potion. Okay? Questions? Do you want me to type this pa? I can, but we can skip that. Question here? No questions? Okay. Intuitive methods. So you've learned about set HP, set MP. But honestly, there's a better way into working with using those. If you have set HP, you're kind of stuck to it, no? It's gonna be HP is equal to MHP is equal to HP, right? But a more intuitive way is to have a take damage or heal. Para kapag take damage, matik na ima-minus mo yung HP, no? No matter what. And then in there, you can also have a check. But when you have a heal, then you just add a value to the HP. Same thing with set weapon. Instead of just set weapon and then inside is the weapon, just going mong null if unequipped. In here, you can have equipped weapon and unequipped weapon. So these are more direct and straightforward. Like we know that if it's take damage, whatever value we put in this, ima-minus niya sa HP. Okay? So we only use yung mga getters if kailangan na natin. Like si get empower, get power, no? But sure, we can keep that. But we can make things here like the set HP. We can make it intuitive by having take damage and heal. So again, you can use both. You can use both. If you want to use set, okay lang. If you want to use get, okay lang. If you want to use yung intuitive way, okay lang. You can use both. Questions? Clarification? None? Okay. So in here, kita nyo nga na if it's take damage, this is where you check. So this is just like the set HP. However, you see here, it's just damage lang. Para we're just gonna minus the HP based on the damage, and we're not having to call pa yung target's HP etc. Automatic na siya. Ma-minus it. Yung minus yung HP. Same thing with heal. Maybe if you para lang sure tayo na hindi negative yung heal, no? Para madadamage si player. We have a check if value is less than 1. Return if it is, it is. And if it's not, we add the value into the HP. Clear? Is this clear? Okay. So this is how it looks like. So remember before we had target, set HP, and then target, you get HP minus damage. And look how clear it is. It is much more direct when you see this. Target will take damage, and then this is the amount. That is way more direct, and it's much easier to read than having to see target, set HP, target, get HP, etc. No? Same thing with heal. Instead of target, set HP, target, get HP, plus value. Automatic na siya. We know it will heal by this amount. Okay? So yan yung kagandahan ng mga intuitive functions. Sure, it may add an additional few lines into your code, but that is much better than having a code that does everything. It's like it makes much more sense when you read it. Okay. So same thing with weapon. If you equip the weapon, you want to make sure that the previous M weapon is deleted, and then M weapon is equal to weapon. Then same thing here. If you unequip, you make sure that it is not a null pointer, then you delete it. And you make sure that M weapon will now be null pointer, or else a chance of getting a error will happen kapag di mo ginawa to. M weapon is equal to null pointer. Okay? Questions here? None. Okay, so this is what I was talking about a while ago with deconstructors. Deleting objects. So, inisip nyo kung tama to, di ba? Just delete player, delete enemy. The problem with this is that the weapon inside the player is not deleted when you do this. Okay, it is not deleted. We have to, you have to delete pa yung weapon. And medyo hassle kung always to keep track of yung pointer ng weapon. Right. Sure, you can probably do player, get weapon, delete player, RO, get weapon. Sure, that can work. But there's a better way to doing it. So like in here, the one who owns the object should be responsible for deleting that object. So dapat si player mismo yung magde-delete niyon. So how do we do that? A easy way is to using destructor. So what this does is a destructor is automatically called when when the object is about to be destroyed or deleted. So this way you don't have to manually call a function like delete instances, no, inside the no inside the from the archer, no. This way automatic siya. The moment you try to delete archer, it will run the destructor first. In this case, we want to delete weapons and delete the items inside. So automatic na. So use this to deallocate dynamic objects that the class or instance owns. So this required for most complex components. Okay, questions? Clarification? None? Sure. So wag na utak. I mean, kind of gets medyo natagalan ako sa exercise. I was a bit too long pala. But anyway, sige. That's the end of uh, itong lecture. Now, let me talk about the quiz. Sure, no questions before I talk about the quiz. Okay, there's none. Okay, so here we have our quiz 3 arena. So students are required to implement a game which features a turn-based combat, a famous combat system on traditional JRPG games. So we have the 3 classes. We have the warriors, the assassins, and the mages. So player just has to choose one of those and fight through the arena. As the player defeats his or her opponent, he advances to the next level to fight against a stronger opponent. So the player gets stronger as he advances. So how does this work? I'm gonna believe that works. So classes. So like I said a while ago, we have three classes: the warriors, assassin, and mage. And these three classes has some. Uh, they're stronger against other classes, but they're weaker against the other class. For example, warrior is strong against the assassin, but is weak against the mage. Assassin is strong against the mage, but weak against the warrior, and mage is strong against the warrior, but weak against assassin. So if they are weaker, uh, sorry, if the unit is stronger, they deal 50% more damage. And same thing with the defender. Defender receives 50% more damage from a unit it is weak against. Okay. If they're in the same class, no bonus or penalties will be applied. They will just deal the amount of damage that was brought out. Next, stats. You have HP, POW, Vit, Agi, Dex. So HP, of course, is our health points. Power is the amount of damage that you can deal. So add 1 point to base damage. Vitality is just like armor. Each point reduces 1 point from damage received. This is applied on the base damage before completing the 50% bonus damage, if applicable. So, it's just like this. Damage is equal to power of attack minus bit of defender times bonus damage. Next, agility. Agility determines the evasion rate. Decrease the likelihood of getting hit. Each point decreases the attack's hit rate. And then finally, dexterity determines the hit rate or chance of getting your attacks to land successfully. So there should be a... Okay, there it is. So to compute damage, it is this one. The lowest damage you can deal is 1. So remember that. The lowest damage is 1. And remember that the bonus damage is only applicable if the attack is stronger against the defender. And the bonus damage is always 150% of the damage. Then the hit rate, it is computed using this formula. The dex of the attacker divided by the agi of the defender times 100. This will be a hit percent. So it will be either 0.20, 0.50, 0.90. It could go well beyond 100. Baka the dex is higher than the agi, no? So the hit percent can never be lower than 20%. And it can never be higher than 80%. So kahit na you're above 100% of this, it should be clamped between 20 and 80 lang. So you will use hit percent to randomize the chance of landing an attack. Alright, questions, clarification? About the damage, about the hit rate, about the stats. Klaro naman? Okay. So stat bonus on victory. Every time the player wins, the player receives bonus stats depending on the class defeated. So if the player defeats a warrior, they gain +3 POW and +3 in Vit. If they win against an assassin, they get +3 agi and +3 dex. Then if they win against a mage, they get +5 POW. So rules. All battles are 1-1. If the attacker's class is strong against defender, attacker will deal 50% more damage. After winning the battle, players gain the stats. Player is healed 30% of his max HP after winning a battle. Unit with a higher agi will attack first. Player only attacks on his turn, no user input required. So automatic na siya. All values should not have any decimal numbers. So if on your computation you get 22.5, you could either round it up or round it down. No, depende. So maybe like 22.7. Of course, you should do 23. If it is 22.1, then maybe you can do 22 lang. So don't know. There should be no decimal number. Then balance the game on your own. You see here, it doesn't state what are the initial stats of your warriors, of your classes. So, kayo na bala dyan. Not only that, you want sana na you get stronger opponents. So, you have to balance. How do we make the enemy much stronger than the previous enemy? So, pag-isipan nyo yun. Questions with the rules? No questions with the rules? Okay. How does the flow go? At the start, the player selects a class, input the name of the player's unit, then show the information. Next will be the encounter. I'll probably have questions when I do as per sure. Sure. You can always ask them. So on the encounter, monster class should be random. Also display the monster's information and make sure that the player can see what is happening every action. So you want to see that after the player's attack, ito yung bagong HP. After the enemy's attack, ito yung bagong HP ni player, etc. So if victorious, add the stats of the player, heal the player for 30% of his max HP, then repeat steps 3 to 6 until the player dies. If defeated, display how far the player has progressed. See how many rounds he had gone through. Okay? So I think this is a pretty straightforward pretty straightforward quiz naman. Does anyone have any questions? Wala pa nga siyang equipment, no? Wala siyang equipment, wala siyang It's really just stats. Okay? No questions? No questions? All good? Kalaro lahat? Okay. Sige. So, this quiz is due next week on the 23rd. That is Wednesday, 6 p.m. All right. So please make sure submit your quiz before the end date, or else you won't be able to submit it at all. Okay. So yeah, if you have no questions or clarification, please feel free to message me if you need a clarification. Maybe you need to understand you don't get something from the quiz. So message me, I'll reply. Maybe you don't understand how to do something, maybe I can guide you, no? Guide you on how to do it, on like leave you a breadcrumb trail, no? On basta I'm gonna try to lead you to that answer. Of course, I won't give you the answer straight, but I will lead you towards the answer that you're looking for, right? So again, just message. I don't mind. I don't mind any messages at all. Okay, yeah. So grading, grading. Uh, Sunday. I promise everything, both the quiz and the OOP. I will grade it by Sunday. I promise. If not, kulitin niyo ulit ako para ano. Okay? But 100% sure. No, 75% sure it'll be done by Sunday. Okay? So yeah, again, just message me. Uh, I'll give the grade as soon as I can, and yeah, that's it for today. You guys can go ahead and enjoy your night.